Kildigs in Virginia. You're live with Eric and V. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, wow. Eric, V, it's really great to hear from you guys. Let me get in a quieter room real quick. Yeah, hi. So, longtime fan of both Talk Heathen and the AT Experience, and been recently getting into some of the other shows too, like Secular Sexuality, and I think they're all really cool.
Nice.
So let me hop right into it because I know you guys don't have a lot of time, and I'm real nervous. So I have a lot of anxiety in general, and one of the things that I like studying is religion. I'm an agnostic atheist, and so I've been exposed to a lot of different types of religion. Well, I was pretty set in my non-belief for the longest time, and I started thinking, what could I come up with as a good question to get on the show? And I didn't want to get on the show if I can't come up with a
Sure. So what's your question?
I think. But today, I wanted to start with something that Matt actually said on the Atheist Experience, and I don't want to speak for him, so I'll ask you.
Hello?
Oh, you cut out there for a minute.
If there was a... I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're better here.
Is that better?
Go ahead.
Okay,
You want
my connection's here. Good. Okay.
No worries. You want our take on a statement. So what's the statement?
Yes. Okay, so I want y'all's opinion on this because I'm talking to you too. If God came out today and revealed himself in whatever way would be necessary for you to believe in them without a doubt, then would you would you praise them? Would you or feel obligated to praise them?
Well, so there are a couple of pieces there. And the first is I'm never going to get to a point where I'm not going to doubt. The way that I look at the world is in degrees of confidence, and that's just a range. And I don't think that anything deserves to be at 100 when it comes to, complex ideas. And so I can say I'm 99.9 bar, but I'm never going to accept something entirely like that just because that's just how that is. We can talk about definitionally true things, and that's fine. But
if in this hypothetical we were sufficiently convinced,
then we'd be convinced,
right? But would you praise that God?
Well, I would have to, if I'm going to be consistent. I've told people, hey, if somebody shows up at the ACA, puts a gun to my head, and asks me, am I Muslim? I would rather live than die on my principles at that moment, because I think that my life is more useful if I just look at that person and say, Allahu Akbar, and because what does that cost me?
See, I disagree, and I think that I can disprove that statement.
Why?
Because you're doing it right now. If we wanted to live the life that would make it best for us right now, we wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't praise this God because I am not... I haven't bought into the dictatorships that are right now. Yeah, I wouldn't, because I have not yet. And I'm not saying this in like an idealist way. I'm saying I know myself and I know how I react to powerful, abusive figures. And it doesn't matter what we call them or what they are. I know that I resist that. And I'm doing that right now. We're doing that in America. We're doing that with Christianity. We are doing that in so many ways. I don't see a reason to think that just because we were sufficiently convinced that a God existed, suddenly that would change.
Well, so I don't think that I would love or care about that God in a meaningful way. I don't think that I would think that that God is good in any way. But if they were to say, bend the knee or die, here lies V.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Right
essentially, that's how that would work.
Cool. I've got other things that I'm happy to die for, but if it comes to me in a moment, that just reminds me of times when somebody's wanted to fight me. If somebody says, let's step outside and punch, I want to punch you in the face. What do I have to gain by not, I'll look at them and go, well, okay, cool. You're a big, strong person. That's fantastic. I don't feel the need to be baited into that fight.
For my example, I'm trying to tie this to what if you didn't know if the fight was even coming or not? Because like I'm not a hard solipsist, but I'm one of those, hey, maybe everything is just in the Matrix kind of people. And
So,
well, I just don't know if there is a God or not. I'm pretty sure there isn't, but I'm starting to think maybe I should start being more religious as a person in order to just hedge my bets. You know, Pascal's wagers, like
Right.
which God do you believe in? Well, maybe.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
we actually touched on this with the very first caller who called in and said, "I am no longer a theist, but I still have these invasive thoughts about what if God is real? What if you're screwing this up? What if you're going to regret this forever?" And as someone with anxiety, if you're going to like, yes, that is a constant script that goes on in your head for everything, including God. I can't speak for you, but right, that's everything. Oh no, I hung up that call too quickly.
Life with anxiety.
They probably hate me now, and I'll never talk to them again. You know, like that's how we think about things. Right. And so, of course, you're going to be putting this on God as well, especially with the stakes are supposedly so high. But I want to ask you this. Why would you pick one religion over another when you're talking about Pascal's wager, right?
Good question. So, not the first time I've seen the show. I figured y'all would go that way, and this is what I was thinking. Would I pick one in general?
And then after that, just so you know, we have like 10 minutes to share with you and to the next caller. So we want to try and...
Yeah, let's wrap this around.
Yeah.
I understand. Long story short, what I came down to was if I was going to pray to a God, the whole reason I'd be praying is because of the fear of hell or some afterlife. So the God that I should pray to is the absolute meanest, worst son of a bitch possible. And I thought about that.
That's funny.
Do some awful things.
Okay,
right.
so if you're going to go with Pascal's wager, you should be praying to the
absolute
one.
worst God possible. Yeah,
Because
both Pelagia and Drew mentioned that in previous videos. Yeah, exactly. And then you just have to make a decision based on the evidence you have. Can you find evidence of that God? And if you think you have enough, then you make a decision. But first, you need to prove that God exists, right? It's not enough to just say it could be and then change your entire life around that.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I've decided, or is a final conclusion kind of, to pray or to live my life as I would imagine the meanest God that I would be willing to morally compromise myself to would allow. Does that make sense?
Right, but that doesn't fit Pascal's wager, though, right? That is hedging.
Well, it's all hedging. It's just degrees.
No, but like if you are going to go all for it and be like, no, I am going to worship the absolute worst God, so I avoid the absolute worst punishment. You can't back that up, or you might be worshiping the wrong God, and then you have the whole thing all over again.
Kildigs, feel free to hop into the Discord. We're going to try and hop in.
This might be a good conversation to bring over to the Discord.
I've been lurking there for a while, actually. Yeah,
awesome. So you know how to find it.
All right, sounds good. See you there. We'll continue this conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, the martyr thing is one that I'm anyway.